This con-
Okay, so before starting today, so any questions, whatever we discussed yesterday? Okay, so at high level, what we discussed, right? So, cloud computing is a concept, the process of providing some of the services through internet. So we call that as cloud computing. So there are different types of services: software as a service, platform as a service, infrastructure as a service. So there are some companies, they are offering services based on the cloud computing. Salesforce is one of such kind of company. By following the cloud computing concept, they are offering two types of services: software as a service and platform as a service. As a software as a service, they are offering the CRM applications. Okay, yesterday we discussed about the CRM process. Any business, mostly to capture the day-to-day interactions about the product or service. So companies, they use CRM. Okay, so as part of the CRM, the first phase is marketing. Okay, so let's say there is a product, and to launch the product in the market, so they need to give the advertisements and all those kind of things, right? So they need to maintain the data in the database to have that information in an organized way. Okay, so there is something called campaign which holds the advertisements. Due to the advertisements, they get inquiries, right? As part of the inquiry, so they capture the company and the person who is working in that company, all that information. So we call that as lead. So once the lead is interested, right? So mainly as part of the marketing, this, right? So leads will be generated, and marketing team, they call to the leads and convert them, right, as account and contact, and opportunity will be generated. But once the opportunity is generated, so that company, maybe in our example, Apple company, right? So they are selling the Apple phone and Apple laptops, right? So they recruit the marketing employees for the Apple company. Those employees, they work on conducting the advertisements and generating the leads, converting them into account, contact, and opportunity. Right? Once the opportunity is generated, okay, so they also maintain the sales team, right? Sales, let's say sales reps. Okay, so the sales team, they work on opportunity. Right? Opportunity is nothing but a deal, right? So while working, okay, they call to that particular contact who is showing interest, and maybe they ask for the quotation, right? They provide the quotation. So finally, right, opportunity might be, they might won the opportunity or they might lose the opportunity, right? That's what will happen. And also the next phase is support, right? After selling the product. So if there is any support activity needed, right? It can be a problem or it can be an installation request to store such kind of information, right? So you can say service application, right? So as part of that case, right? Case is nothing but support activity. and the solutions provided, right? So knowledge articles will be maintained within the Salesforce. Okay, so I'll show you all these things. So where exactly we see this and how we navigate and all those kind of things in next few minutes. Okay, just I'm classifying the CRM, whatever yesterday we discussed. Okay, so now I'm also saying that Salesforce offer platform as a service. So what exactly we do as part of this platform? Do we need to every time write the code and develop, or what are the options? Okay, so using this platform high level, okay, so we can do the configuration, right, or customization, right? So configuration means the point and click part, right? So we call this as admin, as part of the admin module. So whatever the configuration tools provided by Salesforce, so we understand about those configuration tools and see how we can achieve the some of the requirements. Okay, mostly 100% we should try using these configurable tools offered by Salesforce. If something is not possible, if some of the client requirement, if we are not able to achieve with the point and click tool, right? So only that time, okay, so we need to go with the customization. Customization is the development, right? So as part of this training, we discuss about first 1 month, we discuss about administration. After that, next 2 or 3 months, we discuss about the customization, the development part. Okay, the syllabus, you can look into the syllabus, right? So there are many topics as part of the administration, right? Starting with creating the database tables, and so we have flows and reports, dashboards. There are many things. I'm not listing out. You can see the syllabus. Okay, so as part of the development, so at high level, right? So when you develop a custom web page, right? When you open some website, right? So the page, how it looks, right? So maybe let me open. Okay, I'm opening Facebook, right? So if you see, this is one of the web page, right? I think this is one of the web page. Okay, so how, right, to develop any web page? So what is needed? The page what we see on the screen, right? We call that as UI, user interface, right? And when you click on something here, right? Let's say if I click on this, or if I do something here, right? So in background, something will happen,
వైట్
right?
డ్రెస్ హాట్ వాటర్ లో నానబెట్టి వైట్ డ్రెస్ పెట్టాను వైట్ డ్రెస్ హాట్ వాటర్ మిగతా ఏమి ఎక్కలేదు అదొకటి
I think, yeah, if you don't have any questions, please try to stay on mute. Okay. So if you have questions, you can unmute and ask your questions. Okay. So, yeah, here what I'm trying to explain, when there is a web page, so when you click on something, right, in background, some logic will execute, right? So when you interact with the UI in the background, some business logic will execute, right? So, and also when you, so based on what you do here, right? Let's say I'm opening here, let's say I'm filling a form and submitting, right? So let's say I'm clicking on sign up, and so maybe I can click on sign up and different options. Okay, so just to show you, and this is the form, right? I populate everything and click on this button. So what will happen? All this information will store in the database of, right, whoever is offering this space into their company's database, right? So database. So as part of the Salesforce, right, this we call as full stack. Full stack means we deal with the UI, the web page development, and also the business logic in the back end, how the logic execute, and also the database, how the data can be stored. So as part of the Salesforce, so we work on all these areas. Okay, so we develop the UI, right? For business logic, we use a programming language called Apex. Okay, so again, do I need to know any programming language? No need to know. As part of this training, we'll discuss from the scratch. Okay, so mostly this is like similar to Java or C++. The syntax will be similar to that. Okay, it's not that you should know Java or some language. As part of this training, we'll discuss from the basics. Okay, mostly the topics related to this Apex we discuss as part of the development, right? So, and also for the UI, okay, in general, to develop the UI, HTML, right, and for client-side validations, JavaScript, right, to apply the styles, CSS. So this is what people use to develop the web page. We also use all these things at basic level, but specific to Salesforce, they have different frameworks. Salesforce is having Visual Force, one of the markup language. ARA, again, one more framework. Right? So ARA components is one of the framework for the UI development. And also they have LWC, Lightning Web Components. Okay, so this is latest when compared to any other. Okay, so nowadays, if there is any requirement to develop the UI, LWC, Lightning Web Components. Okay, we use this framework to develop the UI. So mostly we focus more on this as part of this training. These things also we should know some basics, few basic concepts we'll discuss. But since this is latest, we discuss more about this one. Okay, that's the scope of UI, what we discuss as part of this training. And Apex is most important. Okay, so the topics related to Apex, and also to deal with the database, we need to use some database commands. Okay, so we have SOQL, means Salesforce Object Query Language, SOSL, Salesforce Object Stitch Language, DML, Data Manipulation Language. So hardly take 1 or 2 hours to understand these queries and all these database commands. Okay, so it's not like too much complex at basic level, right? These things, very limited time it takes to understand. This we take some time to understand the basics, but when compared to Java, .NET, it is lightweight and easy when compared to those. I cannot say very dead easy, the medium level complexity, right? Java is a ocean, right? No one knows all the concepts of Java. it is having that much syllabus. But Apex is not like that. When compared to that, it is easy. But we cannot say it is dead easy. We need to write logic, medium level complexity. Okay, and also these are the main things as part of the Apex. So we have the integration, right? People ask, do we discuss about integration? Okay, so we discuss about the integration related concepts. Okay, mainly the SOAP API integration and the REST API integration. So in detail, when we start those topics, we'll understand, right? So the integration related topics, because so maybe so in our example, let's say I'm saying Apple company. So let's say they are using Salesforce CRM. Same company, they might use some other platform application for a different business module. Maybe let's say they are using SAP for ERP. They are using QuickBooks for accounting, right? So there might be different applications belongs to same client. So they want integration, right? So from Apple company Salesforce CRM application to the ERP application belongs to SAP. They need to establish the communication. In those kind of situations, we need to deal with the integration. Okay, so these are the topics and the scope we discuss as part of this training. Okay, so that's about that part. Okay, so now I think I know still there is a confusion. So what is this CRM application? All these things we need to connect together and understand. So how exactly the project starts? Whatever the CRM applications I am saying, where we can see, right? For all those things, right? To understand. So I'm going to explain about the process, right? So when you join in a what happen? So where we start, right? Before we start working, how the project in the background, what happens. So let's understand. Okay. So maybe take this Apple company, right? Example only, right? So let's say this Apple company to manage the CRM, right? To manage the CRM module, right? Customer relationship management. So when they give the advertisement, to store that, when someone respond to that advertisement, to capture that information and follow up with that lead, to maintain all that, they need a CRM application, right? So maybe it's not that they should only use Salesforce, right? So maybe before Salesforce, so there are many options to develop. Maybe they can develop this CRM application from the scratch, right? Let's say they want to develop this using Java program, right? Using Java, they want to develop the Java, CRM application. Okay, assume and we'll compare. So what is the advantage with the Salesforce? Okay, so Java is only business logic, right? Here, whatever we are discussing, Java is only this layer. Again, still for UI development, right? To have a meaningful web page to interact. So the UI needs to be developed, right? So what will happen? So to develop the application using Java, one of the basic CRM application, the company need to recruit the UI team, right? UI UX team who can develop the HTML, CSS, and JavaScript web pages, right? Let's say they need around 4 resources for that, right? And again, to work on Java, and Java is very complex and many things. Let's say they need 6 developers, right? And also Java is only business logic. Again, database, they need to purchase the database, right? Say SQL Server, Oracle, MongoDB. There are many databases in the market, right? Let's say Oracle database, right? So database is to store the information in a organized way, right? Multiple tables in a organized way in one place to store. We use database. Okay, some of you, if you don't know, just you can ask me, right? Let's say I'm not technical background, and if you, like, sometimes people are not understanding database. Okay, in case if you have that, you can ask me. I'll try to explain in detail. Okay, so at high level, database is nothing but the collection of tables, right? Each table will be having the information in a meaningful way. Okay, so let's say to work with this, they need two resources, right? And also they need to take the license for this Oracle software. Again, Java is also managed by Oracle company. They need to take the license for the commercial purpose and all these things. And also, once this application is developed, right, to store this data, right? Maybe this software will organize the data, but to store that data, it needs memory, right? So hard disk somewhere in a physical location, the information should be stored, right? So it's not like developing this application in the local laptop, the local system won't work, right? This is for this Apple company. They have hundreds of users who is going to use this application. So what will happen? They need to buy the server, right? So server is like a supercomputer, right? So like instead of our laptop, it is like a huge big hardware in one location they maintain and connected to internet, right? So if you remember yesterday we discussed about, right? So there can be many servers, right? So that is like huge cost.
Shrinu?
Yeah.
Yeah, what is the difference between database and a server? Like database, we used to retrieve the data. In the Oracle, we used to retrieve the data from the server, or?
Yeah, see, server is like a computer, right?
Okay.
So server is like a computer which will be having memory and everything, right?
Okay.
So database is a software which will hold the information in an organized way. So maybe to understand easily, you know about Excel, right?
Yeah.
In Excel, we create multiple tables, right? So
Yeah.
we organize the information, right? So you can create multiple sheets and you can organize the data. Right? So this is a software, right?
Yes.
So when you create the Excel, it should store in our hard drive, right? Somewhere. Okay, so in my system, whatever the memory is there, that is like a server, right? My computer is like a server. In that computer, so we need some software. Maybe Excel is one example.
Okay.
Instead of Excel, database. Oracle is the database.
Okay.
Right?
Okay.
In Excel, in sheets, we store the data, right? I can create one more sheet and I can maintain one more table, right?
Yeah.
And organize the information. The same way, Oracle is a software where multiple tables can be created and so information can be organized easily.
Okay.
Okay, so that is even little bit advanced when compared to Excel. So when data is stored in Oracle, there are some commands, right? Using those commands easily we can retrieve what we want and so we can play with that data. It's like that.
Yeah. Thanks.
Okay.
Yeah. Thank you.
Yeah. So here, right, what I am trying to explain. So they need to invest a lot of money, right? So all these resources they need to recruit, they need to purchase Oracle software license, they need to purchase the server. Even though they spend this much money to have that CRM application, right? So at least with this team to have the basic application. So let's say it takes 6 months, right? To have only the basic application, it takes 6 months, right? And these many resources and server, everything they need to buy, right? So let's say if there is a startup company, right? Let's say I'm saying I'm using Salesforce CRM. For my company, I cannot buy the server and I cannot recruit this much team and have this application developed, right? Too much expensive. So Salesforce is solving this problem. Within 1 minute, we can register and have the Salesforce account. No need to wait for 6 months. Within minutes, we can register and have the account. And when we register with Salesforce, inbuilt UI, no need to recruit any team. You can find the ready-made UI, inbuilt internal logic, right? Maybe they use Apex language. And inbuilt database, inbuilt server space, right? Including server and space allocation, everything Salesforce will take care. All we need to do, we need to pay for license fee, right? So to use this, how many users license they want for each user. So monthly, based on the type of service what we take, they charge and they give, right? So that's the advantage. Okay, so within minutes we can register and also you can register for free and have the trial account. Once the company is satisfied, then they can pay and they can use. That facility is also there, right? Everything is ready made. So let's see how we do. Okay, let's register. Assume that Apple company, so one of the person from the Apple company, let's say, so Oma is one of the person responsible to get the CRM application for Apple company, right? Uma and the team, some team members. So they are working from client side Apple company. They need CRM. There are many options in the market and they want to try with Salesforce, which is based on the cloud. Within few minutes, they can register for free and have the account. At least first they want to try with the trial account and log in and explore how Salesforce looks. Okay. So and also before they register, right? What is the requirement? So why, as part of the CRM, so which functionality they want to use, right? So at high level, if you see, that we are trying to understand. So is the main purpose of using the CRM application is for the marketing purpose, right? They want to maintain marketing, sales, service, only service, or only sales, or everything they want, right? It's all based on the requirement, right? Apple company is a big company. Let's say they want to maintain all these modules of the Salesforce CRM. Okay, so all they need to do, okay, so there is a website, right, where we can see, if you see, all these are the different editions, right, as part of the editions, right? So which module? This is for sales, right? The service. right? So then the platform and so, and also, right, if you try to interact with the Salesforce sales team, right, they will arrange the call and they maybe listen to what we want, right? And they suggest, so which edition, right, right, so is suitable, right? So let's say the company needs a service and also sales, also marketing. They can add all these things and purchase. Okay. So, and also here there are like unlimited, enterprise, the different editions are there. Based on this, some features, right? So those things will vary. Okay. So slowly we'll understand. Okay. So this part in general, this client side, that company people, they talk. So finally, right, so based on the session, they will sign up for one of the account. Okay, so let's say they want to try with this unlimited edition, right? So try for free, and they'll fill the information, click on next and finish, so that they will be having the account, which is 30 days trial. Okay, so until 30 days, so all these team members, right, Oma and the team members, they can log in and they can see how Salesforce application looks and explore and decide whether to go with Salesforce or not, right? In general, that's the process. Okay, so for us, so here we are here to learn about the basics of Salesforce. We want to know so how it looks, and we want to know the concepts of administration, development, and all those things, right? So for us, so it's not good to register here. Okay, so for unlimited, whatever the capabilities is there, mostly all those capabilities we get with a free account. Okay, anyone who want to start with Salesforce technology, right? So either you want to start as an administrator, or maybe after that developer, or you want to start as a Salesforce QA, right, for testing purpose, or Salesforce end users, right? Salesforce end users means maybe some of you, right? So when someone call for inquiry, already they are saying they are using Salesforce tool, right? They are working as part of the marketing team or sales team or service team in one of the company. So for this, they are using Salesforce tool. That means they are the end users, right? So for them only so we build these applications. Okay, so this course is not for end user purpose, but that also everything in all the perspectives we can understand once we complete this syllabus. Okay, anyone who want to, right, so know about Salesforce, to register, maybe not here. This is really when the company want to try for trial. Okay, so for us to explore, there is a website called developer.salesforce.com. The first step in the learning process is creating the account here. So I recommend all of you to create the account here, this developer.salesforce.com. So already it is there in these notes. Yeah, the first thing, this one. Okay, go to this website, only try to register here, not in any other place, right? Don't register here, 30 days it will expire. When you register here, developer.salesforce.com, it will be lifetime unless you don't log into Salesforce for I think 90 days. In case if you did not log in, once you check your email, once you log in, automatically it will be continued, right? It will be forever as soon as you at least log in for one time in 90 days. Okay, so here just right, all we need to do, sign up, right? So here I think in general you see this button as sign up. Somehow they changed this. Right, so yeah, in general, straightforward you see as sign up. Somehow they changed this one, right? You need to click on this, and so here this is what we need to click: Salesforce Developer Edition, right? So you need to click on sign up for Salesforce Developer Edition. Okay, so assume that the Apple company team, they are registering and they have the account, right? So maybe here I will use one of your name. Okay, so I think first name, last name. So Banu Prakash. This is the name I am using. So, but I need to use my email address. Okay, and you should also sign up. Okay, all you need to do, come to this website, click on that button, and click on sign up for Developer Edition. Give your first name, last name, anything. Give the valid email address. It's not like anything which is wrong. Okay, email should be correct, because after sign up, Salesforce will send email. You need to check the email and set the password and login. Okay, so this just understand. And also you can have multiple Salesforce Developer Edition accounts with the same email. I have maybe hundreds of accounts. Okay, so this can be, so you can use as many times you want to, can use. Okay, but correct email. And this one can be anything. It's not a matter, you can choose anything. I'm choosing developer, maybe you can choose administrator, anything is fine. Okay, and company name, right? This is technically, this is for the company name, right? So we are assuming that Apple company, right? So woman team, right? Let's say one of the team member is Bonu, right? So is registering, right? So the company is Apple as per our example, right? And region, so where is the headquarters of this company located? So let's say United States. It can be India or anywhere, right? So if you are in India, it's better to choose India. It's not a matter actually. Okay, you can just choose some country, mostly right, India or US. You can choose. And postal code, they won't validate anything. You give something, even though it is not correct, it is fine. Okay, and also the username, right? In general, username will be first name dot last name @company.com, right? That's the standard, right? So technically, so should create as Banu dot Prakash @apple.com, right? If this person is working for Apple company. Okay, but in reality, really we are not working for Apple client, right? We don't have access. Okay, so here, what I'll do, so instead of Apple, so I follow some pattern to recognize each batch. Okay, so I'm saying batch 104. Okay, so technically that is for the company name. Okay, so due to few things, I'm giving this name. Right, you can also, if you want, you can give home or test or whatever you want, you can give. Okay, and it can be different, it can be also different, but I want to maintain. So batch104.com, to make it very simple, I'm only giving this name. Okay, the rule is some name @ something.com. That's the username, and this should be unique. So once you sign up with this, you cannot have any other account with the same username. This maintains the uniqueness. Okay, I recommend all of you to sign up here. This is the first process. Okay, so click on sign up. Right, so it might take few minutes, maybe 4 minutes or 5 minutes or something like that. Okay, so we'll get email. Until that time, just what I am trying to explain here. So how it is different when compared to the main account, right? Let's say if you purchase the unlimited Salesforce account, when compared to that, so this developer edition, how it is different. Okay, so to understand that, so we need to know about the development life cycle, right? So the thing is, as soon as we register, so whatever the account is created, right? I am saying that Apple CRM application, right? Apple Salesforce CRM. It creates the production account, right? Production means the live environment, right? So that means all employees of the Apple company, they log in and they access the application. Okay, so as soon as first we sign up, whatever the account we get, it is a production, right? So the thing is, we cannot directly work in production once we start working for the requirements. Okay, so we need to work in some test environments. So that we understand as part of the development lifecycle. Okay, so before we discuss, maybe let me set the password and log in, and slowly we'll understand that process. I'm checking email. I think now I got email. If you see, even from your side, right? So this is the account, whatever I am signing up is for the class purpose. Daily in the class, I will log into this account and configure, develop, and explain. I'll also provide access to this, but this is for you. This is only for reference to see what I configured and all those things. But you should have your own account created, right? Go to sign up and give your first name, last name, email address, and choose some username and sign up, and have your own account. Okay, so whatever in the class, in the training, I configure or develop, as it is, maybe same thing you try to practice in our own account, right? So it should be like that. So click on this verify account, and here we need to set the password. Okay, so I'm giving as SFDC @123. So SFDC means the Salesforce short form is SFDC, right? SFDC means salesforce.com. Okay, so when you search for the job, when you join in a company, they call, right, SFDC developer, SFDC admin, SFDC team, right? So just understand SFDC is nothing but the short form of Salesforce, salesforce.com. Okay. So I'm just giving the password as SFDC@123. Okay. So this is something you can fill, which you, right? So for you, it's not the same thing, right? You can give whatever you want. In case if you forget the password, it will try to ask that security question. Okay. Now if you see, we registered for one of the account, right? And also if you see in the URL, whatever the company name is there, that name will be appended, right? If I give Apple, you'll see as Apple icon like that. Okay. I give as batch 104. So this is the Salesforce account. Whatever we got is the production, the live environment, right? Let's say at this point of time, one user Banu is there. Banu is having access. We registered and having the access. So all you need to understand, this is not for the personal purpose, right? So since Banu registered, it's not that Banu, this person for personal purpose registered for that account, right? This guy registered for that account for the Apple company. He is working in Apple company, and for that company they need, and he registered. And initially this user is having access. So this person can also provide access to other team members. This person create users for other team members. They can also log in and access, right? This is for the company, right? This Salesforce CRM application, the account, whatever I'm saying, is for entire Apple company. The Apple company employees who want to access CRM, everyone they log in and access. It's not for like Facebook, like Gmail. It's not like personal purpose. Okay, maybe to show you in general, when you log in, left side, see quick find. Okay, so for now, if you see the users, so we registered as Banu. You see that user, and also there are some users, right? User integration, user security. In general, as a default, when you register, even when you register also, you see these users. Those are system generated users. Okay, so beyond that, again, as a right Banu, right, the primary user who registered, the system admin, will be having some super access. This user can create, right, click on new and give the right first name, last name, email address, right? When you sign up, how we gave in the same way, first name, last name, valid email address of that colleague, and some standard, right? First name, last name @company.com. That's standard, so that multiple users can be created, and all the employees, they will log in, right? They will log in with their corresponding account and access. Okay, so I want you to understand that it's not for the personal purpose, right? Now, when we registered for Apple company, Salesforce CRM application is there. Banu and some other users can be created. They can log in, right? Where to log in, right? We registered, we logged in, okay. Now we closed it. Then what is again tomorrow again if they want to log in, where to log in? So to log in, okay, the URL to log into the Salesforce production is login.salesforce.com. Okay, so maybe when you sign up, we sign up here, developer.salesforce.com. Click on this button and click on sign up. Once you sign up, day to day to log in and access, right, where we need to go, right? Production, this is the one, right? The URL for production production URL is login.salesforce.com, right? Or developer edition, whatever we register the URL. So we need to go to this. And what is the username? I think I gave as banu@batch104.com. In your case, whatever you give, that one. Password I gave as SFDC@123. So even though you know the username and password, right? Now you know the username banu@batch104.com. You also know the password SFDC@123. You cannot log in. Okay, I can log in. You can also log in, but what will happen? So when you try to log in from a new browser, right? Because already in this browser I logged in for one time. Already through my internet I logged in for one time. It recognizes. But when I try to log in from a new browser or from some other computer, additionally, it will ask for the verification code. Okay, so maybe it is also asking mobile number. If you want to get the verification code to the mobile number, here you can give your mobile number. But if you don't want, we can skip, right? So if you skip it, by default, the verification code will go to your email address. Okay, it's up to you, right? I think if for your personal account, if you use your mobile number, make sure that choose the country and give the mobile number. That is good. Okay, since it is not my personal account, I have many accounts like this. I'm not registering. Just to understand. Okay, so I don't want to register my phone. In our case, if you want, you can register. So now we are able to log in, right? So what I am trying to say, incognito means maybe it cannot recognize. Okay, so here, right? banu@batch104.com and password SFDC@123. So I'm able to log in. Maybe my internet is also matter. Okay, so when we access internet, so we'll be having a internet IP address. So as soon as it is from the same, it is allowed. Okay, but from your side, try to log in. It asks a verification code, which will come to my Gmail, my email address. Okay, so just that's the first phase. So just understand, right? This is how they register and how. Now the next thing, this Apple company, they have access, and I'm saying this is the one. So before maybe we proceed further to explore here. So people talk about Lightning Experience and Salesforce Classic. Okay, there are two things. Okay, so before 2015, the look and feel of the Salesforce, right? Whatever is there is, whatever you are seeing is, this is the latest interface, Lightning Experience. Long back, so before 2015, the look and feel was completely different. Okay, once you log in, when you click on top right, this one we call as user profile icon. Okay, so view profile. Click on that one, and if you see, there is one option, switch to Salesforce Classic. So this is a old look and feel. Okay, so mostly we don't bother about this. We work with Lightning Experience only. But I'm just giving the idea. Right? People, if they say Salesforce Classic, so we should know, right? So the Classic, if you see how it looks, so it's different. Okay, just to have some idea. So there is a Classic version, there is a Lightning version. Mostly we work with the Lightning experience, the Lightning UI. This is the latest from 2015. So that's about that one. Now, where we see the CRM applications. Okay, so for that, okay, so we need to click on this app launcher. Before we do this, right, we should know some basic terminology about Salesforce. Okay, maybe right, so terminology is little different here. In general, right, so one project, right, so here in Salesforce, one project is like one application. We call the project as an application, and on day to day we say table, right? Table means it will hold some data, right? Rows and columns, and the data will be maintained. Okay, in Salesforce, right, instead of table we call as object. Okay, so when we say object in Salesforce, you have to understand that it is a table having columns and rows, right? So just terminology is different. Okay, and when you say there is a table, right, maybe if you see I'm saying employee table, right? Table will have maybe column names, right? First name, last name, and email, or many other columns, right? So it will have data, right? So like this, right? So in general, we say this is a table, right? This is a table, and these are the table headers, right? So these are the rows in the table having data. This entire thing we call as object in Salesforce. Okay, in a table we have columns, right? Right, first name column, last name column, email column. Here, instead of columns, we call as field. Okay, in Salesforce, same thing. You call this one as first name field, last name field, like that. Right? Here we call as field instead of column. Okay. So and also row, right? In a table we have the row. This is one row. This is one row. In Salesforce, instead of row, we call as record. Okay, just try to understand this. Okay, so maybe in initial phase I say table, maybe sometimes I also say object, right? Maybe after one or two sessions you'll be understanding. Okay, so but this is the thing, just keep this in mind. Okay, so now when I say application, it's like one project. So we have high level 3 different types of applications: marketing, sales, and the service. Okay, and also along with this, so here in Salesforce, right, we have, in general, if you want to get the data from this table, right, when you have this information in the database, to get this from database we need to use some queries. In general, SQL Server or maybe Oracle, we use some queries, right? So some commands we use. Here in Salesforce, without writing any command, any query, we can read the data present in a database. So we have a concept called tab. Tab, when we say tab, we see this tab on the UI. Internally, it links to an object, and that object data it will bring and show on the web page. We don't write any command. Okay, I'll show all these things. Okay, I'm going to open one of the application. Okay, so again, go back to Salesforce once we log in. So here you are seeing these dots, right? Okay, this we call as app launcher. Going forward, I'll say app launcher. App launcher means you need to understand, you need to click here. Okay, so this is the app launcher. Going forward, I'll say app launcher. So when I say app launcher, you need to click here. Here you can search for the application, or you can click on view all. And if you see, all these are the applications. There are many applications. The main applications, so marketing, sales, service. There are many other. So for now, we don't need to bother about that. Okay, slowly you will understand. But for sure, we need to know about this marketing, sales, and service. Okay, I'm opening this marketing, right? Marketing application, right? So in Salesforce, application is nothing but when you open the application, you see the name. This is the name of the application. And it will be the collection of tabs. Here, whatever you are seeing, all these are the tabs. Home, charter, campaigns, leads. All those are the tabs, right? Tab is nothing but link to a object, right? Object means table. Okay. So maybe to understand easily, it is like here, right? This is, let's say, marketing Excel, right? In that, maybe you can create campaigns, you can create a sheet, leads, you can create a sheet, accounts to hold. I can create one more Excel file, and in that Excel file, I'll say that name as sales and right, create a different sheets. If you see, this also looks like this marketing application, right? Like sheet, here we have the tab. When you click on this, it will automatically connect to database and bring the campaign object information. Okay, maybe let me click on this one, right? When you click on this one, it will connect to campaign table and show that information here. And also the thing is, when we try to see the information, let's say when you have data in Excel, right? We apply filters, right? So we have the filter option. So you can apply the filters for these columns, right? Maybe data. Filter, and we can filter based on some criteria and all those kind of things, right? So in the same way in Salesforce, right? So when you click on this one, it's not that it is going to show all the data present in the campaign table. To filter, to have different filtered data. So here, these things we call as list views. Instead of seeing all the records using list views, we decide which data you want to show. Only today records you want to show, or only the campaigns created last month, or so based on some criteria you can show. Those are this one. Okay, so here I'm choosing this all active campaigns, right? Now, if you see, we are seeing the data, right? Who created this data? I did not create, right? The thing is, when we sign up for developer edition account, Salesforce, they provide some test data. Okay, this is automatically generated by Salesforce, and right. So since we registered newly and to understand how this looks, so the test data Salesforce is provided. If we don't want, we can delete and create the client specific data. Okay, so if you see here, this is a table, right? But in Salesforce terminology, we call this one as object, right? Start date is one column, right? But Salesforce terminology, we call this as start date field, end date field, like that. Okay. So, and in detail, so many things are there. So I think we don't have more time. So what we do in our next session, we explore about all these different, so how the campaign looks from campaign, how lead will be generated, how people mark lead as interested or not interested, how that can be converted as account, contact, opportunity. So all those things we understand. So where we need to work, right? So now this Apple company team, they are just exploring, right? They're exploring and understanding the application. They might not be satisfied with this application as it is. They need some changes on top of that. Maybe they have, let's say, 100 requirements. Someone who knows Salesforce, who can use the configuration tools and development platform to develop. They need such kind of people. Okay, so the thing is, we need to work in that part while achieving these requirements. Okay, this slowly in our next session you will understand. Right, this Apple company, they approach some software companies like, let's say, Wipro, TCS, CTS, right? So that company, they allocate a team to work for this Apple company. When you get the job, let's say you get the job in Wipro, they'll allocate to Apple project, and we need to work, right? So like that. So that process, that is most important. So once you know that, you will be knowing, right, how project starts, when you join, where you work. Later we understand the concepts. So what are the tools and all those things will be easy for us. Okay, and also there are many Salesforce affiliated websites. And apart from what we discussed in our training, so what are the additional resources we have to practice more and improve your profile? All these things take maybe at least 2 or 3 classes. So we'll discuss those in our next session. Okay, so I think most of the people, they are saying they are on vacation. So which is good. If I take classes next week, so would you be able to join, or from second if I start, it will be good? Just I'm checking.
I think second it should be better.
Yeah. So most of the people, I think, yeah, they are on vacation. Even though I take some sessions next week, most of the people are missing. Okay, so what we do, okay, so we'll have our next session from 2nd January. Okay, and it will be regular. So yeah, I'll maintain that. I'll also drop email about that.
Hey Srinu, when you say
Yeah.
2nd January, is it third morning your IST time?
Yeah, as per IST, it is 3rd.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. So meanwhile,
And
yes.
yeah, even if we miss classes in between, we will have this recorded session, right? We can always go through that.
Yeah, you will get the recording daily.
Okay.
Okay. So maybe after next day we'll get the recording notes and everything. Okay.
On the same, okay, we'll get it on the next day, not on the same day. Emails.
Because for me it is late night, right? So
Okay.
there is a conversion and all those things are needed. Okay. So mostly my morning I'll send. That will be your evening.
Yeah, got it.
Okay. Yeah. Any questions so far? Anyone?
I have a question, Shreya.
Yeah.
So you told that after creating account like in a developer edition, right? You can give access to other team members, like no, in our example. So
Yeah.
how many users can I give access? So is there any limit to that, or like how it works?
Yeah. So for free account developer edition, right?
Mm-hmm.
There is a limitation. Again, when we say users, right? There are different license types. Okay. So one of the licenses is Salesforce. Okay. There are some other licenses like Salesforce platform and different licenses are there. Okay.
Okay.
So mostly when we register, we get this license. The Banu, whatever the user we created, will be with
Mm-hmm.
this license. You can create one more user with this Salesforce license. Okay.
Okay.
So let's say Uma create. So it consumes the maximum limit. Okay. So,
Mm-hmm.
but the other license type is there. With that, you can create few more users. But based on the license, the Salesforce license users, they can access all marketing, sales, service, all the applications. Okay.
Okay.
But when you assign this license to a user, that user cannot access any standard application like sales, marketing, service. Okay. Some differences are there. Slowly you will understand, right?
Okay. Okay.
We'll
Got it.
discuss all those things.
Mm-hmm. So in the real time, like if any company buys,
In
uh,
real time,
mm,
you need to pay for each license.
oh,
Right?
okay.
Let's say I have enterprise Salesforce account. They
Mm-hmm.
won't give two users.
Oh,
If I purchase one user, only one user license they give.
so
If you
per
want 10,
user you will
yeah,
have to buy the licenses. How many users you want, that many licenses you will have to buy.
yes,
Okay, got it. Thank you.
okay, yeah. So any other questions?
Hello, sir.
Hello, yeah.
Sir, if Apple wants to use the Salesforce CRM,
Hmm.
then here the Salesforce was going to provide 1 month free trial to the Apple to
Yeah,
understand better,
yeah,
right?
yes,
Okay.
yeah,
After 1 month, the Apple want to pay the money for to use the CRM, right?
yeah. They have to pay, otherwise they cannot log into Salesforce account.
Okay, sir. Thank you, sir.
Yeah. So it's like that, right?
Hello,
So yeah.
Srini Uma here. Uh, just I need a one clarification. When you start with the admin, that point and clicking tools in the customizations is also part of the admin, right? So how
That
it going to be dealt? That will be dealt under the development, or it will be clubbed in the admin itself?
yeah, configuration means admin, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Configuration means
I'm
admin.
asking about this. Yeah, yeah. That point and click tools customization also there, no? If you can go down.
So point and click tools are configuration. We say point and click tools as configuration, not customization.
Okay. So it will be covered under admin only, right?
Yeah, admin. We say this as configuration, not customization. Okay,
Okay.
customization means development.
Okay. And one more thing is like when you open the developer.salesforce.com, the look and feel of the screen, and when the individual user or the company users uses the application, the screen is going to look the same for the end user and the developer.
Yeah. So yeah, many people they think the real-time application how it looks, right? This is a developer edition. It is looking like this. In real time, how it looks, exactly same thing. Okay.
But if we see in general, the users are not going to, one user is not going to deal with all modules like a sales, service, and remaining, right? So there
Yeah,
will be
yeah,
some specific kind of roles and responsibilities, right? So some kind of modules or the screens can be not accessible to all the users, right? So how it going to be dealt?
yeah. Yes, all those things we can deal. So there are concepts like profiles and roles based on some permissions, right? So
So that
we,
will be given at
yeah,
the time of creating user itself, or
yeah. For user there is a profile. Okay. Now I think it is too early. Okay. So we have a topic that time you'll understand more. Yeah, at user level, at the time of creating the user, we decide that user should be mapped to which profile and which role. Based on the profile and role, the application, the screens, what they are eligible to see, only those they can see.
okay. As you mentioned that the table is called object, you have opened here the campaign, right? Campaign.
Yeah.
So what you are calling it as these, is this as a screen or session, and this is object itself, or how you are calling it as?
So this is campaigns is a tab, right?
Tab. Okay.
When you click on this tab, here all these are the list views, right? To filter the data present in the campaign object.
Okay.
Okay. So if I choose this one, right, it show all the campaigns present in this, right? Here this,
Okay.
we will say this is object data. Here campaign name is a field, start date is a field.
So
This
we
is a
can refer
record,
it as a tab, campaign as a tab only, right?
campaigns tab, and this is the data from the campaign object.
Object. Okay.
Okay, so these things, right? How even we also create a custom object. We say standard object and a custom object. Okay, so by default, whatever Salesforce provide, that we call as standard object. What we create as part of the configuration requirement, right? So that we call as custom object. So all those things we'll see. Okay, so all the thing is we, right? So day by day we discuss and understand in detail. Okay. Yeah. Any other questions?
Srinu, one
Yeah.
question, right? I mean, it's a general question. So, how is the market for Salesforce QA analyst? I mean, if you don't have any development background, let's say they want to uh, choose the career, right, in the QA software testing. So,
Yeah. So it's all based on country. You are in which country?
I'm in US.
Yeah, in US, yeah, it is better. But in India, it is almost very rare to get the opportunity as a Salesforce QA. Okay, but in US you can get it. But market, right? See, when you know Salesforce admin and development, it's like the highest level of opportunities you see. Okay, so when you know only admin, openings will be there. Okay, you see less openings when compared to admin plus development. Okay, but obviously for QA, so wherever the Salesforce project is there, so they, I think you are eligible to have that position. It is good. It is there.
Okay. So, how about the business analyst role? I mean, if you have some technical knowledge, not that much great, but at some technical knowledge, some admin, you know.
Yeah. For I mean, it's all based on how many years of experience you have. So business analyst means you should also know something, right? So let's say if you take healthcare.
Mm-hmm.
So healthcare business, you should have some knowledge, right? How healthcare works, right? Healthcare providers and so vendors and the practitioners. There are some terminologies there. Okay, as soon as you know that, and along with that, if you know Salesforce, it will be easy for you. Okay, so but either for business analyst or consultant or administrator, the base is this administration training. If you know all these administration concept, on top of that, for business analyst, the other topics what you need to know, you need to explore. Okay, those things we'll see. So there is a website called Trailhead where you can learn few more different different areas of Salesforce. Those we'll see in our next sessions.
Got
Okay.
it. Thank you.
And Srini, are you going to share these notes, admin notes, whatever you?
Yesterday I shared these notes and video and everything. You did not get email?
No, I didn't receive
So
it.
okay, did
No,
you
sir, no
register?
email was received.
Okay. So I think did you fill the form? I mean,
Yes, I
yesterday.
did it.
So yesterday, right? Yesterday after the class, I asked you to
Yes,
fill the
you asked
form.
me. You asked us to fill the form. I did it.
You
Yes, sir.
filled this form, but still you did not get email.
No, sir, no.
So did you fill this a little bit late or something? When did you fill?
No, sir. We filled it
No.
right.
Check your spam folder.
Yeah,
I think even
yeah.
for me also spam.
Okay, let me look at the spam.
Yeah. Check the spam folder also. Still, if you don't see, just ping me. Okay, I'll share.
Okay, done.
Yes, sir, it is in the spam.
Okay, yeah. So you might be receiving like this. Okay, here notes is also there. Okay, and here I'll also update these notes, and tomorrow, so I'll attach the next video also. Okay. So for you, from your side, you need to register here. All of you go to this website, sign up, and have your account. Maybe store your username and password. I mean, somewhere just remember. So daily you need to log in and practice. Okay. Yeah. So any other questions before ending? Okay. We'll continue on 2nd January. Okay. Thank you.